Aloha. I'd like to thank Olelo Community Media for providing this forum for me to speak with you. When I grew up with my grandparents on the Wai'anae sugar plantation, and when my mother opened the first woman-operated Napa store in the nation, I learned the values of hard work, responsibility, and respect. I also learned growing up along the Leeward Coast that when you see someone in need, you find a way to help. When I went fishing with my father and grandfather, I learned the value of family. When I visited my cousins in Kaimuki and saw sidewalks as opposed to raised asphalt for the first time, I learned the concept of haves and have-nots. When I became a lawyer and a state senator, I learned that sometimes you have to fight your friends and work with your enemies to get tough reform that people care about through the legislature. And when I became president of the Hawaii State Senate, the first woman to lead either house in the Hawaii State Legislature, I learned that cooperation and collaboration get tough reforms passed. These core principles have always driven my commitment to public service and is the key motivation for my running for Congress. All of these values are Hawaii values. I'm taking them with me to Washington, where I will represent Hawaii and pass legislation that will give Hawaii hope for the future generations. You will hear the word independent throughout this campaign. But what is independence? Experience has taught me that no legislator, no single person can solve a problem by working alone. It's not hard to take a position, refuse to budge, and think you know better than everyone else. The real work comes in listening to others and crafting workable solutions while standing by your core values. That's what it takes to serve the people we represent. Our state and nation face serious challenges, from our economy, education, to health care, to the environment, and keeping our country on the right track. I've got the right skills and experience as a leader and a legislator to bring about real change and reform that makes a difference in the lives of everyday people in Hawaii. As President Obama did with health care reform, I too have worked tirelessly to bring all sides together in support of changing a system. I ask you to look at the reforms that I have passed in my years at the legislature. For example, there was civil service reform, the state health care reform, and education reform by overseeing funding for special needs children, passing the first charter school legislation, and working with the community to see the birth of the award-winning Sea Rider productions. When it came to passing tough campaign finance reforms, we passed a major piece of legislation that I worked on in collaboration with former campaign spending director Bob Watara. And when it came to public safety, I worked on a major overhaul of the laws to combat crystal meth, through treatment, prevention, and enhancement of sentencing. To make changes in law, I worked closely with our Republican State Attorney General to do that. These are real reforms, reforms that I can point to, reforms I can take credit for. This special election will be a chance for you to decide who is the real reformer and who will be able to take these skills to Washington to work in collaboration with our congressional delegation and the Obama administration to effect real change for the American people, but more importantly, for the people of Hawaii. When your ballot comes in the mail, please vote Colleen Hanabusa and return your ballot before May 22nd. Please go to my website, hanabusa2010.com, for more information on my campaign. You have an opportunity to support real reform in this upcoming special election, and I humbly ask for your vote. Please join me on the journey to our nation's capital. Mahalo.